You know, what he should have done about the whole situation was crack down on illegal gun owners and stop mentally ill people from getting these guns. But Trudeau's government is not a competent government, so this is no surprise.
I retired from the Ontario Provincial Police a few years ago. I've done 32 years of police service, and I've never experienced the problem in all my years of policing with any registered gun owners. I mean, that is an extremely, extremely rare issue if it ever creeped up. And it never creeped up with myself in policing. And I think this is absolutely disgusting what our government has done. They're targeting the wrong individuals. We know who the criminals are that are committing the gun crime in this country, and it is not this group of people.
Here today in Ottawa, Ontario, I'm Tamara Ugolini with Rebel News, and we're covering a story. The Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights is here to march today around the block, gathering here on the Hill in protest against the firearm grab by the Liberal government. So we're going to head on in and see if we can get some views and opinions from the people in attendance here today. All right, so what brings you out on the Hill today?
I'm not a gun owner, but I think that what Trudeau has done, especially with this law, is ridiculous and it's absurd.
And here today to make my voice being heard against the injustice about this gun law. They're going after the wrong. The focus is completely wrong. Criminals don't care about the gun laws.
Our whole family essentially is lawful and legal gun owners, and with the current law, about half of our gun safe is essentially prohibited, right? So, and we grew up in countries that banned firearm ownership legally in the past, caused a whole lot of trouble. One of the reasons we moved to Canada was because government trusts people a whole lot more here. And we're kind of seeing that this is bit by bit taken away. Even in our countries, all the freedoms were taken away like in little steps. So we just couldn't stay home, and we wanted to make sure that we get heard that we're not happy about this, and that we just don't want this to happen.
Everyone here is here for a reason. Everyone owns guns or has family that owns guns, and they understand that what's going on is wrong. So we have a choice. We either speak up or bend over to the Liberals.
I've been a shooter for a very long time, and I don't want the government to take away my firearms for a poor excuse. If it actually made a difference, then fine, but the laws that they've put in place will not make a difference.
I like to see the families out together. So how does this gun grab affect your family?
Well, it affects us because it's infringement on our freedom and our rights as Canadians to be able to enjoy, a pastime that we all enjoy doing and something we enjoy doing together.
And so why did you call it the Integrity March, not a rally or a protest?
Well, we wanted to march because we thought, first of all, there's less chance of being hijacked by crazy far left groups if we're on the move, if we're mobile. I mean, sure, you can walk along with us, but you're not going to take away the messaging behind the point of our activity. And the whole thing is that the entire gun debate is based on lies and untruths and just bad intentions. And for us, we're asking is that the government use integrity in their decision making and their policy crafting.
Well, I'm here today because I want to talk about and fight against the last form of discrimination that seems to be okay here in Canada. And that discrimination is the discrimination against lawful firearms owners. The facts are out there. It is discrimination. We are being attacked. In what name is what I ask? In what name are they attacking?
Any cent that the government spends on legal gun owners that aren't the problem is taking away money from the real police work and the real criminal justice system that needs funding to put the real bad guys in jail. And that's actually a threat for me. Not that I'm going to have to give up hunting or shooting and things like that, which I really regret. I do regret being declared a criminal instantly, post ex facto, by the government.
I retired from the Ontario Provincial Police a few years ago. I've done 32 years of police service, and I've never experienced the problem in all my years of policing with any registered gun owners. I mean, that is an extremely rare issue if it ever creeped up. And it never creeped up with myself in policing. And I think this is absolutely disgusting what our government has done. They're targeting the wrong individuals. We know who the criminals are that are committing the gun crime in this country, and it is not this group of people. And I'm here to support this group of people. I really am.
Soft on crime, tough on gun owners. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, you know, I don't understand his action when the crimes are committed by people who are not law-abiding citizens, who are people who obtain guns illegally. And looking at the stats just earlier today, they are far, any deaths, and I couldn't delineate between, they didn't delineate between firearms that were obtained illegally or legally.
All right, so what do you think of the Liberal government's gun grab?
It's absolutely terrible, and it's an embarrassment. That's pretty much all I could say about that one.
We got to have a voice. So I think Rebel News is our voice, and thanks again, Rebel News, for doing a fantastic job, not just for Bramptonians, Ottawans, but for the whole Canadians. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That's wonderful. So we see here thousands of legal gun owners gathering, and this has been a completely peaceful event. There have been no incidences that I have seen of any violence, except for this woman came forward to me just now, and she experienced some violence. So can you expand on what happened to you?
So I am a very experienced rally goer, and I parked where the police have often met us and walk us up to the hill. So I parked there and came up, and the people who want cops dead, really, the BLM folks and their supporters were getting a police escort down the street to come to the hill, and I was shocked that they were allowed in. And I'm just minding my own business walking up, and they came up all together and grabbed on my flag. So you can see I want to show support for law enforcement, because I think that they're very, people want them dead, and there's no reason. When you look at the research and the statistics, these lies that are perpetuated, they are lies. And so she grabbed, and my friend had to pull her away a bit because she was ready, and of course it was a female. They often are the real instigators. She reefed on my flag, and you can see it's tied. And
you're quite red there.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
So have you heard that the gun violence is actually increased as of this year, and with his gun grab? So can you touch on that at all? What you think about the going after legal gun owners versus street violence?
Well, I think that's ridiculous, because, you know, what he should have done about the whole situation was crack down on, illegal gun owners and, stop mentally ill people from getting these guns. But, Trudeau's government is not a competent government, so, this is no surprise.
Toronto's seen quite an increase in gun violence because gun laws don't actually stop violent criminals. They just stop us law-abiding citizens from having the property.
What do you think the solution is?
Well, first, repeal the garbage bill that you've put in place, and focus on the border and the illegal guns that are coming into the country. I mean, you can hear it anywhere from here. Everybody's going to say the same thing. It's not Canadian gun owners that are committing crimes. You can look at the statistics.
Punishing law-abiding people and people who are willing to jump through the hoops that are necessary to legally own guns is not going to stop crime.
Just look 4 hours west of here, southwest of here in Toronto, because it's going bananas down there. It has been for years. It's getting worse every year, and it's got nothing to do with us. They know that. They think we're all stupid. We're not stupid. They're the ones that are showing their true colors right here. They should be at work. And by the way, go to work. Yeah. I've worked the entire time since January. I haven't stopped once.
Well, the solution is to take all the resources that would be inappropriately allocated for expropriating guns and private property from citizens, utilize those resources to solve the issues that are causing society grief.
So maybe sometimes the best thing is for government to take their hands off of what people are doing and let things sort themselves out. Maybe another secret would be to stop lying. Maybe if the government stopped lying, they wouldn't see people like us out here speaking up.
They lie to Canadians implying that we're committing the crimes. And they lie to Canadians and imply that Canadians want this, that Canadians want gun bans against legal owners. And none of that is true. So we prove it consistently by having the people show up. Nobody shows up for the other stuff. So if Canadians support it, then why couldn't they do something so simple as sign petitions or do rallies or do the things we do? It's because nobody wants that. People, 100% of Canadians would support credible work on crime.
Well, when Trudeau took emergency powers during this pandemic, I knew something was up. And when the ban hit, I knew this is phase one. What happens after this, I don't know. I don't even want to know.
What is Trudeau doing about unlawfully acquired? Illegally acquired guns. What is he doing about securing our borders? Which I would venture to guess is the source of most of these.
There are some reforms that can happen with gun law. Our gun laws that we have are very complex and they need to be streamlined, but it's increasing the number of police officers we have on the street and those specific units that are going to target those gangs. The guns and gangs groups that we've established in the past, they need to be beefed up, and we need to target the individual groups and the problem with smuggling coming across the border.
I think that it's very disrespectful that he didn't pass this law by a debate in Parliament. It was in order in council, and so it shows the lack of respect he has for the parliamentary system.
Yeah, and so do you have a cohesive sort of one sentence message for the Liberal government?
Well, really is just look at the interest of Canadians and start listening, because we're starting to get fed up here.
I don't think a Prime Minister should serve with 3 ethics violations, with the Finance Minister doing some shady business and so much scandal and closing Parliament when actually you need to have the emergency services right now. And to prorogue Parliament to get out of an ethics scandal investigation is just says for itself.
Do you have a message for Justin Trudeau here today on the Hill?
Nothing I can say in public, no.
Do you have a message for the Trudeau government here on Parliament Hill today?
Just leave us alone. That's all.
And do you have a message for Justin Trudeau here on the Hill today?
Yeah, please leave us alone. That's what I'd like you to do, is just leave us alone. Leave all of us alone. You've done enough. Okay.
The point is the Liberals are consistently soft on crime and tough on gun owners. We see, just while the Liberals have been in power, we have an 83% increase in shootings in Toronto, and their response to that is more punitive measures on the people not committing the crimes. So, the cost of not combating crime is real, and it's measured in human lives. And at the end of the day, I'm a mom and a grandma, and I'm a gun owner too. Being pro-gun doesn't mean I'm anti-safety. In fact, it means the exact opposite.
So there's a lot of lies going on right now, and those lies are being also perpetrated by the mainstream media. The only people I have seen provide some measure of honest reporting on this has been Rebel News.
Thank you.
So thank you. That's what I got to offer for you today. If you can keep spreading the truth about what's going on, that would be really awesome for us.
We saw some mainstream media here, so they were filming the procession. I'm not sure if the camera can catch it, but you can see that there's still people coming from the opposite side or the adjacent street around the block. I mean, there are thousands of people here, so I will be really surprised to see what other media outlets report on in terms of numbers here today. It just keeps coming. If you agree that we should remain as law-abiding gun owners here in Canada, head on over to handsoffourguns.ca and sign the petition for yourself.